Hi there, students. A work to rule, hyphenated, or to work to rule with no hyphens. Okay, this is a British phrase. The Americans know this as an Italian strike or a slowdown. Now, in a work to rule, the employees, they don't go on strike. A strike is where they say we're not working, but they do exactly the minimum required by their contract, and they strictly follow all time consuming rules not enforced, and this normally causes a slowdown or a decrease in productivity. And this is the idea of a work to rule. It's a form of protest where employees do exactly what is stated in their contract and nothing more. A work to rule is very often a way to protest against low pay or bad working conditions. So, for example, the dustbin men. They haven't gone on strike because they're not allowed to, but they are working to rule. They follow the rules of their contract absolutely. And normally this can cause a lot of problems, because normally workers do a lot more than is required by their contract. So, for example, for the UK Post Office, normally postal workers, they arrive before their start time, and they do unpaid overtime to finish their delivery, and they carry bags that are too heavy. But during a dispute, they arrive exactly on time. They stop at exactly when their shift has finished, and they weigh the mailbags to keep them within limits. Very often you find a work to rule in industries where strikes are not allowed. For example, the police. In many places, the police are not allowed to go on strike, but so what they can do is they work to rule. They do everything exactly according to the rule. They don't do anything extra. They take all of the sick days that they are allowed. They take all of everything that is defined within their contract, and that is the idea of a work to rule, or working to rule. To work slowly by strictly following all work rules, and this is normally part of a unionized labor process. So that they only work. The workers only do exactly what is defined in their contract, and they take all of the rights that are defined by their job as well. And this is the idea of a work to rule, following the official working rules, the official hours, in order to reduce the output, to reduce the efficiency. And this is a form of industrial action. So the management of the airline urged cabin crew to call off their work to rule. Okay, so a work to rule, it's firstly a ban on overtime, and then working to the strictest interpretations of any rule that are part of a job. So I don't know if nurses are allowed to go on strike, but they can certainly work to rule, and they follow the exact letter of every single detail, every single part of their contracts. So it's not a strike, but it is certainly a an effective form of industrial action. So the union has not called a strike, it called its members to go on strike, but it has ordered a work to rule. Now, this is a business phrase. I would give this work to rule. I think I'm going to give it a 5.5 in formality. I think you can use it anywhere. Although it's a business phrase, a touch on the more technical parts of business and unions. So, work to rule.